Wow, so we brought the rain. I hope everyone appreciates that. We also brought the governor and an amazing, amazing announcement today. I just want to introduce our speakers and then also some of our wonderful guests in the audience today. So Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham is here with us today. Senator Jeff Steinborn. Las Cruces Mayor Pro Tem Cassandra Gandara, and the founder and CEO of 828 Productions, Todd Lundblom. I also want to say thank you, and this is in no particular order because this is a packed crowd, which always tells me how passionate Las Cruces is about economic development. Assistant City Manager Akini, thank you so much. Eric Enriquez, City Councilors for the City of Las Cruces, Yvonne Flores, Becky Graham, Tessa Abeda, Becky Coran, Superintendent of the City of Las Cruces Schools, Ralph Ramos, County Manager Fernando Macias. We were just together yesterday for lots of border meetings, so thank you for being here. President and CEO of the Greater Las Cruces Chamber, Debbie Moore, where are you in there? Yep, perfect. Economic Development Director for the City of Las Cruces, Elizabeth Teeters. Where are you? Thank you. You've done some amazing work on this. Administrators and educators from the DACC and NMSU, including Monica Torres. Are you here? Oh, yay! And Shannon Reynolds, our County Commissioner. There we go. Davin Lopez from Mivita. Where are you, Davin? All right. Senator Joseph Cervantes, I know you're here. We just talked. Where are you? Somewhere. There you are, right there. Former Senator Mary Kay Papen, where are you? Representative Friari, where are you? All right. Wonderful. And then our team is here. Amber Dodson, our fantastic director of the film office, is back there. Mark Roper, our director of economic development. Where are you, Mark? He might even be backstage. Okay. And Louise Marquez, our regional representative for this region. She's done a fantastic job, so thank you. And of course, we want to acknowledge the Las Cruces City Manager, Ifo Filo, who is not here today, and also the Mayor of Las Cruces, Mayor Migashima. So they're not here today, but the last person I want to also thank is Stephanie Denton, who is here from 828 with Todd. Stephanie and I met 25 years ago at the Cannes Film Festival, and now her and Todd are making Las Cruces their home for 828 Productions, which the governor is about to announce. But it's just really great to grow up with someone in an industry and then have them move to New Mexico. So it feels really good. So it is my honor to actually introduce the governor, Michelle Lujan Grisham. She has been bringing high-paid jobs to New Mexico and diversifying the economy from day one. When I came in, she said, we have a real problem. We have $200 million that is owed to people because of the cap that's on the film industry, and I need you to fix this. And she has been film's #1 advocate since day one. She is constantly pushing me, not only in film and television, but with the spaceport, with global trade, with the border. I think we have been down here more than any other administration ever. I come down every 3 weeks. I feel like this is my family down here. I know so many of you in this room, and it is because of this woman. So, Governor, please come up to the stand.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. It's very nice. Thank you. Well, I'll steal a line from the secretary. It always feels like home here, so we're happy to be back. Two, I'd like to recognize my good friend and colleague, former Representative Mary Helen Garcia, who's also right here up front. And if with these bright lights, if we've missed anyone, maybe I held my applause one more time. We've got some incredible collaborators, policymakers, leaders. I see Ross Marks over there. We deserve an incredible, resounding applause. It's a great group. And the second thing, while it's very gracious of the secretary, frankly, I'm chasing her all over the state. Her job and ours as an administration is to show that New Mexico is, in fact, a job creator and an employment powerhouse. And in fact, that's exactly the case. We are leading the nation in all of those economic measures. And in fact, we have created with you tens of thousands of jobs, and in the program I'm going to announce more jobs in the local economic development effort, which requires legislative support. And your legislative leadership here provides, frankly, remarkable investments in LEDA, all right? And that has not always been the case. It's been kind of a battle about whether or not that money gets out of the state and gets into the communities where the planning and effort of the community leaders and the private sector are in fact ready to make those investments and provide jobs. And that's what LEDA does. It works with the cities and the counties and the private sector. We pool our resources and then we make incredible announcements. So here's this one. 828 is going to put 100 jobs right here in Las Cruces and Doña Ana County. And to make sure that they can do it, the state is announcing $3 million towards that effort. And why do we know? Yep, you can clap for that. It's your money coming back into your community for high-paying, right, career-making jobs, careers. And it's, as we are showcasing here again, that film matters, film works, and it creates an ecosystem of incredible opportunities for, frankly, everyone, but most importantly, for New Mexicans. So we've got folks returning. We have folks who are leading here and looking for you. We have a partnership where we just announced the new Next Generation Media Academy. I'm telling you, there are too many names. When you've got nearly $900 billion in the film and movie industry in the state, you have a lot of stuff to remember and incredible news to share. And we've seen a 7-fold increase in production work in rural communities across the state. And I know that you don't need to be reminded of this, but it's good news, so let's say it out loud. Most of that, quite frankly, is happening right here. And your local legislative leaders, including Senator Steinborn, had that vision, embedded it in the tax credit, made it clear that that statutory shift would make a real difference. And in fact, they're right. And this announcement is proof positive, and the film school, and any number of other announcements that have been all right here tied to this industry. And post-production work, sound stages, that investment has to parallel the record number of productions that are occurring in the state. As we compete, and compete we are incredibly competitive. Everyone is looking here. Then they need to know that they have the right infrastructure to actually produce the support for the films that are occurring. And I'm sure Todd will tell you, but since I get to be first and brag, they were on a production here. The experience was incredible. The number of New Mexicans who we've been showcasing as real talent in this workforce were enough to get them to move here and create this business here. That's exactly how it's supposed to work. LEDA plants the seeds, we create a partnership, we use the local higher education, we start to embed our work in K through 12, and you create an economic powerhouse ecosystem that nobody else in the country wants to, because they can't beat us, that nobody else can compete with. We just keep organically making it the biggest and the best per capita in the world. Why don't we have that as our benchmark? And today's announcement is another indication we are well on our way. Congratulations, Las Cruces. Congratulations, Doña Ana County. Congratulations, Todd, and the legislative leadership. We are getting it done. Thrilled to be here. Oh. Yep. Thank you. I also have a little hitch in my giddy up, so forgive my slow, careful effort back to my seat.
So as the governor said, and I'm just going to stress, this is our third studio partnership, and we're very, very excited. This means that 828 is here for at least 10 years. They are investing in the community. They are investing in education. They are investing in the Next Generation Media Academy, and we're really, really proud to call them partners. In addition to the 100 jobs, they've also committed to $350 million of direct spend. So what does that mean for you guys? It means that's money from coming outside of New Mexico into New Mexico. And that's really why film and television are so important, because 99% of that money is coming from outside of the state. Yes. So I would also, I want to introduce our next speaker, which is, oh no, first, before I do this, the governor alluded to Senator Steinborn's work on SB2 and the 5% rural uplift. At 1 o'clock in the morning, I was against this, I have to say. And I didn't see how it was going to happen, but I needed this gentleman's vote. And I have to say, it is one of the best things. It is one of the best things that we put into that legislation, because as the governor said, it was sevenfold. And we have such amazing rural towns around New Mexico, and to be able to drive film and television to them is incredible. So thank you. Thank you. So our next speaker, Mayor Pro Tem Cassandra Gondara, was born in Silver City, New Mexico, where she began her career in social work after receiving her bachelor's degree from New Mexico State University. She has spent the last 25 years living and working in the Las Cruces community with both the State of New Mexico's Department of Health and its Children, Youth, and Families Department. She was elected as city councilor in 2015, and last year she organized several district meetings to educate and inform her constituents about the city's activities as related to downtown and the historic districts. And as you know, Main Street is within EDD. This is one of our incredible Main Street areas. We're going to have lots of announcements in the coming month about Main Street, but I'd just like to introduce and welcome to the stage Cassandra Gondara.
Thank you. Greetings and welcome, Governor Lujan Grisham, Secretary Keys, and distinguished guests. We are here in our beautiful historic Rio Grande Theater, an anchor site designed to bring foot traffic into our downtown. We've had many events here that include an awards ceremony for our International Film Festival, wrap-up for Film Las Cruces designed to update the downtown businesses and community about the number of projects Film Las Cruces is involved with, and finally, many films and performances, many that I've partaken in. When I think of where we are at as a city, when I was first elected in 2015, I beam with pride. Our downtown looked very different. Our plaza was at the beginning phases of development. Many of our eateries, pubs, breweries, and retail were just dreams. In 2017, Mayor and Council approved a strategic plan that envisioned a number of goals. One was increasing economic growth by diversifying our economy, and a second was increasing our workforce opportunities for our young people. Film production in Las Cruces was a way to do that. When Senator Steinborn and John Foley Sepp approached Council about their vision to establish film production in all forms here in Las Cruces, which included a soundstage, I must say there was some skepticism about it. Yet, they proceeded with tenacity to build film here in Las Cruces. We had a few stops and starts, and frankly, there were times when many felt this may not ever come to fruition. Fortunately for us, Film Las Cruces and their advocates remain steady, and this industry in Las Cruces is alive and well. The solid and trusting relationships that have developed over the years with our partners at New Mexico State University, DACC, Creative Media Institute, and now with 828 Productions have been the catalyst for growth we're seeing in this industry. I am pleased to announce we are much closer to making that dream a reality with a state-of-the-art soundstage. I thank you, Senator Steinborn, John, wherever you might be, Dr. Ivisu, Dr. Torres, City of Las Cruces staff, and Mr. Pili, and a special welcome to 828 Productions. We look forward to working with you.
So most people, when they think about the film industry, they think about movie stars. And of course, they are in the movie industry, but the bulk of people who work in the industry are behind the scenes. They are producers, they are crew, they are people like myself that weren't maybe so into a four-year education, but knew that they wanted to create something. And so Todd and I were back here talking, and he said, I don't think I've spoken to more than 3 people in 2 years, Alicia. I don't know if I can do this. So, I know, too much information. But I always just like to point out that the film industry is normal people doing really great work. And Todd has been an entrepreneur, a filmmaker, and the CEO of 828 Productions, which he founded to help artists tell their stories across genres, big or small. He's financed 15 films with a total production spend of $50 million since 2019, and he is about to call New Mexico and Las Cruces his home. So please welcome Todd to the stage.
Thank you. Hey, everybody. Perfect place to make an announcement like this in this beautiful theater. Thank you, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham, Senator Jeff Steinborn, Cabinet Secretary of Economic Development, Alicia Keys, Mark Roper, Division Director, New Mexico Economic Development, Amber Dodson, Director, New Mexico Film Office, Mayor Ken Miyagishima, Mayor Pro Tem Cassandra Gandara, and the entire City Council, City Manager Ifo Pili, Elizabeth Teeters and her team at City Economic Development Department, County Manager Fernando Macias and his staff, and the County Commissioners, John Sepp, Film Liaison, Film Las Cruces, and Film Las Cruces staff and Board of Directors. And thank you to Las Cruces and Dona Ana County community for their continued support of film and digital media industry in southern New Mexico. And thanks to the 828 team scattered about here. I came down to Las Cruces end of July, 1st of August, 2021, so just about a year ago, to make a movie. I'd never been here. Flew into El Paso, rented a car, drove up here, rolled through town for the first time. Was like, man, this is a really, really cool little town. I've seen those mountains. Wow, amazing. And I rolled up to the hotel. The actors were just finishing a table read. In the industry, a table read is actors sitting around a table reading. So little bit of industry knowledge there. So just as that was finishing and people were milling around, I was meeting many people for the first time, and I met a local filmmaker, really, really bright young man, very passionate. We got to talking, and we started talking about movies, which you think would happen a lot more in the business, but we've got our head down and we're just going from here to here to here. So we just started talking about movies we loved, movies we'd made, movies we'd wished we'd made. And at one point I looked up and everybody had gone. I don't know how long we were there talking, but that guy's right there. And he's part of the 828 team now. That was my first impression. I've been here an hour, 2 hours. Like I said, I lost track of time. But it left a real impression on me. I went on to spend some time during the filming of this production, spent a total of 3 months here living out of a hotel. And as I met more local Las Cruces and people from around New Mexico that were here and people that were traveling here, there was just this commonality that everybody was happy. And you're laughing, but like if you've been in Los Angeles lately, it's a little light on smiles. Not a lot of this. There's hand gestures, just not this one. And so it started to feel like home instantly. I think I started looking for a house 48 hours after I got here. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you. Someone asked me a few weeks in, they were like, how are you liking Las Cruces? I said, I can't get into an elevator without making a friend. It's true. It's true. And that has just continued during the time that we've been here. Hey, Mark, will you mind bringing that out? Got a little piece of art to share with you guys today. Thank you, Senator, and your team. Beautiful piece of art. You guys, do you recognize the building? Because if you've driven down Amador ever, then you should recognize the building. Oh, look, we've got a water tower. Watch out, Warner Brothers. And those mountains that I saw when I first got here, those mountains that I watch the sun rise over every morning and get inspired. Well, not this morning, because we had clouds, which was cool, because I thought it was only sunny here. So it was like, well, we'll take some clouds once in a while. It's just beautiful, you know? Wherever you go, you see those mountains, they're sort of watching over us, and it anchors you in this beautiful place that has this rich culture. And don't laugh, but there's magic here. There's some magic in this town, which is why we're building 828 Studios here. Because this awesome job that we get to do of making movies takes a lot of hard work and some magic. So this is the place to do it. The studio has been a dream of mine for as long as I can remember, and we wanted to build a home for artists to come and tell their stories. So that's what we're doing, and we're here. One year after I first set foot in this town, I mean, we've covered so much ground. It is mind blowing at how quickly this has come together, and that is due largely to the people on this stage and the people in this room. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Dreams come true, not just in the movies, but in real life too. So let's go make some movies.
So Senator Steinborn has served in the New Mexico legislature since 2007. He serves on the Senate Finance Committee and is chair of the Interim Radioactive and Hazardous Materials Interim Committee. During his time in office, Senator Steinborn has passed a diverse range of legislation, including the creation of the Independent Ethics Commission, campaign contribution limits, the establishment of the Outdoor Recreation Division, and the creation of the Rural Film Tax Credit. As a leader in the Las Cruces community, Senator Steinborn has co-founded Film Las Cruces in 2015 with his dynamic team led by John Sepp. Thank you, John, wherever you are. And has made really, John, thank you. has made this town into our biggest emerging film production hub. And he has done it because this man is relentless. And he calls me every 2 weeks and says, you know, he's reading all of these announcements, and the first word out of his mouth is like, hey, how can we bring this to Las Cruces? What's going on? What can we do in Las Cruces? How can we bring film to Las Cruces? Can we go out to LA and talk about Las Cruces? He is Mr. Las Cruces. I have to say, this man is Mr. Las Cruces. And sometimes he frustrates the heck out of me, but I swear to God, he is awesome. So welcoming you to the podium, Senator Steinborn.
Well, I have been called a few adjectives in my life. Bulldog, gator roll, pit bull, and they're all compliments. So thank you very much, Madam Secretary. I appreciate that. It is such an incredible day for Las Cruces. And since we started working on film economic development years ago, I've always tried to be honest with the press. I've always tried to be honest with the town and set appropriate expectations. Film economic development is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You have to do the work. There's so many variables involved. But I am not underselling when I say, everyone, Las Cruces, this is a very big deal for our community, what is occurring today. And let's give it up. We have a film studio. We have dreamed of this day, leaders in Las Cruces, for a very long time. Today's a day when I always like to thank leaders, pioneers who came before us, who had these dreams, who urged these same policy actions for us to follow suit. And we are standing on their shoulders. And so it's a day like today, I want to honor people like Mike Lawrence, Bill McCamey, Mark Vasconcellos, Dan Williams, former film liaison Mark Work, Tony and John Muir, and the late, great Mark Medoff. Nine years ago, in February of 2013, Governor, I was on the House Taxation and Revenue Committee when suddenly we had this film incentive bill. They called it the Breaking Bad bill. And Breaking Bad was filming, and that was the big bill at the time to strengthen New Mexico's film industry under the previous governor. And I suddenly found myself in this committee room as a voting member about to vote on this bill, looking at studio executives and business leaders with expensive suits looking very successful, and famous New Mexico actors that live up north. And I had never really seen this industry down here. Like we have experienced this over the last year. I had never experienced this in our part of the state. And I had an epiphany that day. I realized that everything Mark and Bill and the Muirs, that had been exposed to the industry was true, and that I knew, like we all know, we have beautiful locations here, right? This is one of the most beautiful parts of the state. And of course, we are the second biggest city in the state. The film industry needs a very big service sector. They need direct flights to LA. And I'm like, we have all these things here. We just need to put it together and work hard to grow this industry here. And so I was really super pumped to do that. And when I came home from that session, I reached out to Mark, and I reached out to these folks who had reached out to me, and I said, okay, we need to have a meeting with everybody that had ever talked about film, which included a lot of the people I mentioned, and I pulled in others, Councilor Gil Sorg, right? Russ Smith, who, if any of you know Russ, he's a make stuff happen guy. County commissioners, just a team of people that could start working on it. And we started talking about really trying to replicate, understand the success of the North and what we needed to do here. What are those foundational things? And one of the things that, of course, the people who knew what was going on kept saying is, we need a soundstage, we need a soundstage, we need a soundstage. And so we basically realized that we needed the government to play a role into helping to seed that investment here to get that process rolling. Just as the same as actually as the history of the studios up north, where I will tell you, Albuquerque studios, Santa Fe studios. The government was involved in all those studios. There have been millions of dollars invested in a public-private partnership to help grow the film industry. It hadn't happened here. But so with that strategy in mind, we decided we're going to form a new organization called the Regional Film Development Advisory Committee. We started meeting, and we started raising money. So and thank you for indulging me in this story, because this is really a full circle moment. So over 2 sessions, legislators, first of all, film people came up to my little rented condo during the session and were sleeping on my floor and working the halls of the legislature and getting our great legislators here and counselors to commit to funding to get that started. And so first of all, and we were successful in raising over 2 years between the city and the legislature, $4 million as seed money. So thank you. So if I can, I want to first of all thank our legislators, Mary Helen, Mary Kay, I know Joseph was here, but would all the legislators that put in capital outlay and city councilors raise your hand and kind of take a bow for the audience who are part of that? So thank you very much for your vision. Then, after we raised this money, we were not quick to spend it at all. We wanted to make sure that when we spent those precious taxpayer dollars, we were very prudent in what we did. So we've been looking for the right partner for about 7 years. And in that time, we have formed Film Las Cruces. We opened a great film office. We hired great staff. We rented a former Coca-Cola bottling plant as a film studio. You remember that one? That was cool while it lasted. And we passed a new law creating a rural film incentive. And that's been successful. And as we know, over the last year, as a result of this tireless efforts, Las Cruces did see a record level of film production. But today, one of the core missions that we set about 9 years ago is coming to fruition, and we are taking that huge leap, and we can finally announce, and it has been announced, that we have found our partner, and that we are so thrilled to be working with 828 Studios. So give Todd and 828 another round of applause. And I also want to thank Todd's team. Todd's got an amazing team of film industry veterans, Stephanie Denton, Chris, Robert, who he referenced earlier, Robert Dean. We got some great local filmmakers here who are behind many of the films we've seen the last year, Robert and Jesse, crucial part of 828 now. They recruited one of our star talent, former members of our team, Chris Shepard. What a great score. She used to be the operations coordinator for Film Las Cruces. That alone will make you sleep better on your pillow at night, whatever Chris is working on, but she's awesome. But, and I want to, of course, I thank the former council. Governor, I really want to thank you and your vision, because you, from the very beginning, said, I want film to be statewide. I don't just want it to be northern New Mexico. You were receptive to ideas on how to do that. You supported the Rural Film Incentive. You've supported bringing on a super talented team with Secretary Keyes and Amber Dotson. We've continued to make New Mexico's film incentive one of the best in the country, and now today you're committing LEDA dollars, millions of dollars between this and the Next Generation Media Academy to Las Cruces. So I'd like us all to give Governor Lujan Grisham an appreciative round of applause. Okay. And of course, it is a real pleasure bugging Secretary Keyes on the regular, and Amber Dotson, who's an incredible leader of the New Mexico Film Office. Finally, you all know the rock stars, but I want to thank the team of Film Las Cruces and our board of directors. But we have a tremendous leader who's a product of our film schools, John Sepp, Andrew Hada, Julie Thompson, and our incredible board of directors, and all of you. Emily, raise your hand, and others, Mark, and everyone who's been a board member, thank you so much. Almost as exciting as the studio, Todd touched on it, is where this studio is going to be. So for those of you who don't know, this is the Cotton Gin, right? The former Cotton Gin. Mark has purchased, Todd, 828 Studios has purchased 35 acres of land there. So that entire area, is going to be an incredible film district. And I think what we're looking at in the Cotton Gin is soundstage number one. Number one. So that thing just screams making movies, right? And so now when you drive by it, it will have a whole new meaning. Also cool about Amador Proximo, of course, is that it's an area in need of economic revitalization. It's a cross-section of Las Cruces history, and it's our agricultural roots, but at the same time, redevelopment, reimagining our future. And so I'm so excited. I know our whole town is, I know our city leadership is, I'm sure you are, Governor, about seeing a studio in a redeveloped part of town and what a film district will do in that neighborhood in Las Cruces. So that's very cool. I want to give a shout out to Representative Nathan Small, who had to be in Chama today for a legislative hearing. For those of you who don't know, Nathan really, on the council, he was a city councilor, spent years trying to improve Amador Proximo, this area known as Amador Proximo, and they did a redevelopment plan. He was then a tireless partner of mine in Santa Fe on all the film work. So these stories and this work and this accomplishment really is about Nathan as well. And I called him last night and broke the news to him, and he was so heartbroken to have to go to Chama. But he is with us in spirit, and we definitely appreciate Nathan. So thank you. So in closing, Bill Clinton got a big line when he said that once in a speech because everyone was so ready for him to stop talking. In closing, I want everyone to understand how important studios are to the growth of the New Mexico film industry. And the New Mexico film industry is surging, and a lot of it has to do with episodic series productions that all use studios. And we haven't, of course, had a full-time studio until now this moment. And so New Mexico has never had a series made out of Albuquerque or Santa Fe. So are we ready to have a series here in Las Cruces? All right. See, Alicia, this is when I turn to the ask, always the ask. But Governor Alicia, Amber, we would love your help in recruiting a series to Las Cruces to create a stable body of work for this studio. All right. And Netflix, if you're listening, we know you're building, but we have capacity. So, but anyway, community, great things are happening. And this is the beginning of a whole new exciting journey for us in film. And I want to thank you again, Governor. Thank you, Secretary. Thank you, Amber. And thank you, City of Las Cruces and Doña Ana County and the town of Anthony for supporting Film Las Cruces. And finally, I want to thank 828 again for this incredible opportunity and for your vision. Thank you.